Billy, it's time for episode 11 of Take Your Medicine. Hi, I'm Toby Blake, and this is my co-host, Billy. She's a cute little rescue Airedale Terrier. And today is episode 11, Billy. We're more than 10th of the way done with our goal. My goal is to have 100 episodes before the end of 2024, and we are doing it, Billy. Where are you going? Come be by us. Come be by us. Lay down. High five. What do you want? You want to hold hands? Let's see. I would love to shout out today my son, Jonah Bushman. I am wearing one of his hoodies. This is Woke Apparel. It is the most comfy hoodie on the planet. And it has a very important message on the back that is extremely close to my heart and close to Jonah's heart and close to the hearts of all of our family, especially during this time. Go out and get yourself one of these very meaningful, beautiful hoodies. You can look it up at Woke Apparel Official, I believe, on Instagram and TikTok. And you can find it at CreaTyf.com/woke. And I will put the link in this video so that you can go and support a beautiful cause, a beautiful brand full of love and meaning. Good job, Jonah. I'm so proud of you. This chart just wants to keep falling over. What else? Let's see. Shout outs. Belpo. Again, I love to shout out Belpo Skincare because it is, especially the exfoliator, something that I invented years ago. I sold the company, but it is something that I totally swear by for my skin. It is all vegan, all natural, has so much nutrition for your skin. I'm 40 years old. I'm not wearing any foundation whatsoever, just a little eyebrow pencil and mascara and blush today. And I'm really happy with where my skin is. And that is thanks to Belpo and also thanks to my aloe plants. I love to use aloe on my skin as well. Last time we talked about the pain body in Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth. And I do want to talk about that a little bit more today. But first, I wanted to shout out today's star of the day. Today's star of the day is actually really close to my heart. Her name is Dr. Armstead. And she is I believe her title is the Dean of Students at my children's school, Charis Academy. And she has gone completely out of her way since our family experienced a huge tragedy recently, about 5 months ago. This woman has done so much for our family and for my kids. She really cares about the students, the humans first, beyond the curriculum. And she has gone out of her way to help my children feel cared about and loved and special during the most difficult time of their entire life. She has so much compassion, so much empathy. Dr. Armstead, thank you so much. Anna came home from school one day and told me that Dr. Armstead had a poster of Thomas, the same poster of Thomas in her office. And I was so grateful. And then yesterday, Jonah went to school and Dr. Armstead was wearing one of his woke hoodies. She has just truly been such a superstar in our lives. I could go on and on. She's also a really talented rapper. She's an amazing woman, very talented and so passionate about really helping students heal and figure out what they want to do in their actual path in life, not just being a strict by the book educator with rigid rules, but to really see the human and to figure out what that human really needs. And I couldn't thank you more, Dr. Armstead. You are amazing. You can check her out on TikTok at That Afro Teacher. So thank you, Dr. Armstead, for all of your love, all of your support during this extremely difficult time in our lives. Thank you for really getting it, for really seeing these kids for the awesome, wonderful superstars that they are. Showing up every day for them has meant the world. So thank you. So getting into a new earth one more time, I wanted to go a little bit deeper into talking about the pain body. Last time I spoke about the pain body as really unhealed trauma in us. Any emotion that has not been felt all the way through has residue, energetic residue that is still stuck inside of us. It's like a dormant volcano ready to explode at the slightest trigger. And so when we learn to have an awareness of our pain body, we're able to start to gain control of that pain body running our lives. You know, my triggers used to be a big major problem in my life, in my marriage, in my relationships with my kids. And I feel so much better in my life now. I am at true peace in so much more of the time. I have a quieter mind. I have stillness in my heart. And it's all because I created an awareness around my pain body and started to go to work at really feeling every feeling that comes up that had not been felt. Once it's felt all the way through, it's released and we're free of that energy. And that energy goes back to being productive and joyful and healthy and healing. You know, this energy is real, actual like voltage, wattage energy in our beings. And so when we release it, we actually get to experience a boost of energy. I used to drink so much caffeine, like 5 or 6 cups of coffee a day. I do not drink any caffeine anymore, except for maybe some cacao every once in a while. I love my cacao. But I have so much energy. Another reason why I have so much energy is because of my alien friends who have literally put their energies into me. I know that sounds crazy, but I am alive with these higher dimensional beings' energy. They come, they channel through my body. They always ask for consent. They're very respectful. They are higher level beings. They just get it and they teach me so much and they put their energies into me. They've encoded me with their symbolisms. I don't even know what so much of it means. It looks like hieroglyphics a lot of the time. They're symbols. They're so beautiful, and they've put those energies into me. And I feel very guided in the work that I'm doing and in my life now. And there are synchronicities everywhere. The more I do this work, the more magic my life becomes. And so I'm so grateful. Anyway, the pain body is an individual entity that lives inside of us that is just pain that is trying to make its way out, to be seen, to be loved. But in addition to our individual pain bodies, we also have a collective human pain body and also a female pain body, which is what I wanted to talk about today. So I'm going to read a little bit from Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth. This is my favorite book of my entire life. I love this book so much. It's changed my life in so many ways. I've read it many times. And today I would like to read a couple of pages about the collective female pain body, because this is real. And I have really worked with this in my life. I've really gotten in tune with the female pain body inside of me and learn to start to open myself again to femininity, because when we are so hurt by the toxic masculine world around us, we tend to become masculine ourselves just to survive in this very masculine world. And so as I've done this work, I've started to open to feminine energy, to soften myself, to be more like water, free flowing. Water is the most powerful element on earth, and it is also the most free flowing element on earth. And these beings have taught me a lot through water symbolism on how to tap into my divine femininity. So Eckhart Tolle says, the collective female pain body. The collective dimension of the pain body has different strands in it. Tribes, nations, races, all have their own collective pain body, some heavier than others, and most members of that tribe, nation, or race have a share in it to a greater or lesser degree. Almost every woman has her share in the collective female pain body, which tends to become activated particularly just before the time of menstruation. At that time, many women become overwhelmed by intense negative emotions. Can you relate? I can relate. Although my time before menstruation, now that I have started to heal these parts of me, has become so much more pleasant. I can feel the shift in my mood and my energy, and I can work with that and allow it to open me to deeper layers of my own healing. And it's actually a really empowering time in the month for me now. The suppression of the feminine principle, especially over the past 2,000 years, has enabled the ego to gain absolute supremacy in the collective human psyche. Although women have egos, of course, the ego can take root and grow more easily in the male form than in the female. This is because women are less mind identified than men. They are more in touch with the inner body and the intelligence of the organism where the intuitive faculties originate. The female form is less rigidly encapsulated than the male, has greater openness and sensitivity toward other life forms, and it's more attuned to the natural world. If the balance between male and female energies had not been destroyed on our planet, the ego's growth would have been greatly curtailed. We would not have declared war on nature. We would not be so completely alienated from our own being. Nobody knows the exact figure, now listen to this, because records were not kept, but it seems certain that during a 300-year period, between 3 and 5 million women were tortured and killed by the Holy Inquisition, an institution founded by the Roman Catholic Church to suppress heresy. This surely ranks together with the Holocaust as one of the darkest chapters in human history. It was enough for a woman to show a love for animals, walk alone in the fields or woods, or gather medicinal plants to be branded a witch, then tortured and burned at the stake. The sacred feminine was declared demonic, and an entire dimension largely disappeared from human experience. Other cultures and religions, such as Judaism, Islam, and even Buddhism, also suppressed the female dimension, although in less violent ways. Women's statute was reduced to being childbearers and men's property. Males who denied the feminine, even within themselves, were now running the world, a world that was totally out of balance. The rest is history, or rather, a case history of insanity. Who was responsible for this fear of the feminine that could only be described as acute collective paranoia? We could say, of course, men were responsible. But then why in many ancient pre-Christian civilizations, such as the Sumerian, Egyptian, and Celtic, were women respected and the feminine principle not feared but revered? What is it that suddenly made men feel threatened by the female? The evolving ego in them. It knew it could gain full control of our planet only through the male form, and to do so, it had to render the female powerless. In time, the ego also took over most women, although it could never become as deeply entrenched in them as men. We now have a situation in which the suppression of the feminine has become internalized, even in most women. The sacred feminine, because it is suppressed, is felt by many women as emotional pain. In fact, it has become part of their pain body, together with the accumulated pain suffered by women over millennia through childbirth, violent acts, slavery, torture, and violent deaths. But things are changing rapidly now. With many people becoming more conscious, the ego is losing its hold on the human mind. Because the ego was never as deeply rooted in woman, it is losing its hold on women more quickly than on men. Whew, that was a lot. So, in my own personal experience, I had no idea how masculine I had become in the world just to survive it. This is a harshly masculine physical world, and the feminine has been so suppressed that women are now turning against each other and looking at each other as a threat and not supporting each other in any way. That is not our natural way of being. That is not the divine feminine. And recently I got to experience a retreat, a women's healing retreat in Sedona. I was asked to help out with it, and it was such an incredible experience to go and be with these beautiful women. It was my first time experiencing an overnight group setting with a bunch of women that most of them I did not know. And I realized how terrified I was to even be around women. I used to literally say the words, I hate women. I literally hated women, and I can't even imagine feeling that way now. But my heart has been softened and my heart has been open to the beautiful feminine energy that we carry, this life-giving, beautiful, nurturing awareness that we have, a connection to the earth, a connection to all that is. We are magical beings, and we need to love and support and open to one another, because the way this earth heals, the way our human species heals, is tapping back in and reconnecting to the divine feminine. We have gone way too far into the masculine, and now it is time to pull back and come back to our divine feminine. One of the ways I've really learned to open is through journeying, shamanic journeying, with and connecting with higher dimensional beings. These are galactic beings. They have the ability to shapeshift. They are absolutely magnificent, and each one has its own shape and body and intelligence and unique essence. They each have beautiful lessons to come in and teach me. And they have told me that they want to connect with lots of people. They want to connect with everyone. And it is not them keeping themselves from us, but it is us keeping ourselves from them. These beings, we have to get on the same frequency as them in order to see and experience them. It's just like tuning into a radio station. We have to tune into the exact right radio station, and there they are, ready to teach and love us and show us how to heal ourselves and to heal our planet. They are waiting and ready to help us. And I believe it's part of my purpose on this earth to help anyone who wants to connect with these higher dimensional beings to be able to connect with them. I wanted to share a few of my friends that that have helped me to connect with these higher dimensional beings. When I was growing up, my mother especially, was not into anything that had magic in it. We were very religious in the Mormon religion, and she was very strict with our standards of how we were living in the Mormon religion. And so I remember even not being allowed to watch My Little Pony because ponies don't fly and that's magic and magic is bad. Or we were not allowed to watch Teddy Ruxpin because bears don't talk and that's magic and that's evil, that's dark, it's bad. She was not into the zodiac or horoscopes or crystals or tarot cards. All of that was considered evil in my upbringing. And so this has all been so new to me, completely unexpected. But when all of these visions started happening to me, I began really having a craving to hold a stone in my hand and to ground myself by putting my bare feet in the earth. When I would have these experiences with these interdimensional beings, I instinctively knew that I needed to hold on to a rock to ground myself with the huge energies of these intergalactic beings. And so this is a rock that I use to ground myself when I am journeying into the spirit dimensions. This rock is so special to me because my son Thomas gave it to me at a place called Burrow Creek here in Arizona one day. And on that day, I had decided that I wanted to manifest one specific word. I was doing this practice where I was trying to start to manifest more through my consciousness. So I wrote down in my journal that day that the word I wanted to manifest hearing would be volcano. Then we went hiking at Burrow Creek, and Thomas walked right up to me a few hours after I wrote that in my journal. And he said, "Mom, look, a volcano rock." I had never heard a lava rock be called a volcano rock. And I said, "Ah, Thomas, You just helped me manifest my word. And it was so exciting. And this rock, my volcano rock, will always be so special to me. This is selenite. This is a crystal given to me and found in the earth by my dear soul sister, Iggy. I love the power and energy of this beautiful selenite. I never want to clean all the dirt off of it because this is exactly how it was found in the earth. And I love it so much. So when I am journeying, I use a rock to ground myself. I use this selenite pretty much every time. And the other, perhaps the most special of all of my crystal beings, is this labradorite anaconda, also gifted to me by my soul sister, Iggy. This goes on my chest. So I hold the selenite in my right hand, the stone in my left hand, and my labradorite anaconda on my chest. And one time when I was journeying, I was holding all of these things and had my anaconda, closing my eyes, and I was kind of just drifting off into sleep because I had been journeying for quite some time. And it was late at night. And all of a sudden, a being, a giant anaconda with glowing green eyes and the most beautiful patterns appeared to me. And I opened my eyes, and this anaconda began teaching me. He started channeling through my body. My husband, AJ, was there to ground me. It was one of the most wild, incredible experiences of my life. But it wasn't just an anaconda that arrived. It was an entire, what I would call maybe a collective of beings. They were all very different, one from another. And on that night, I was able to allow them to channel through my body, and each one carried a very specific lesson for me. That this night completely changed my entire life. I learned so much, and this was on the night that they told me that they showed me how they are hoping to connect with all living beings, and that we are the ones keeping ourselves too noisy and too blocked to be able to connect with these intergalactic beings. On that night, there was also a seahorse being that channeled through me. There was a coral reef being that channeled through me, where I got to experience what it literally feels like to be a coral reef floating in the ocean. It was absolutely beautiful. It was a pink coral reef. There was one that I call the Great Owl Chief, or the Holy Owl Chief. He created a temple made of feathers all around us, and he was the one who showed me how to help others start to connect with these beings. And he left a feather in my hair, an actual physical feather in my hair that night. It was so beautiful. I asked him for a physical token to remember him by. And then there was a feather, and I still have that feather to this day. What a beautiful experience. Jesus Kate, of course, my galactic best friend, was there, and she was the one who brought these friends to me. There was actually a transformer being there that channeled through my body. His energy was very much more masculine than most of the beings that had channeled through me. And so it was a little bit uncomfortable at first, but I totally trusted him. He was blue and different shades of silver and white, and he could transform into what looked like a race car spaceship, and then into a transformer being. I had no idea that these kind of robotic transformer beings were actually not just make-believe in the movies. I was flabbergasted that I had a transformer right in front of my eyes and then channeling through me. These beings just kept taking turns using my body. And at one point, and a lot of it I didn't remember, but AJ was speaking to them through me. And at one point, AJ said that I just sounded like almost like a robotic talking. I was talking in like a robotic way, but it was like my channels were changing because the beings were just taking turns one after another. So I was I would start saying one thing, and then I would start saying a completely different message, and then a completely different message, and my voice was changing each time a little bit. He said it was like a tuning of a radio station where it was just changing the channel again and again and again. And eventually I had to say, stop, okay, I'm exhausted. This is enough. I've had enough. I love you all, but I need to sleep. It was probably 4 a.m. when we were finished, but it completely exhausted me. But the next day, even though I was physically drained, I was so spiritually alive. It was on that night that this collective of beings showed me a huge, I don't know, a tablet is what I would call it. There are no words. These are ineffable experiences, but they showed me this huge tablet with golden symbolism that looked like ancient hieroglyphics. And they raised that tablet right over me and they imprinted me with their symbolism. It was the most beautiful, profound experience. And I have no idea what any of the symbolism means, but oftentimes when I come back to my body after they've channeled through me, my hands are in these very specific, hand gestures that I don't understand. I'm still learning. I am their humble student. I do trust them completely because I trust Jesus, Kate. And they are so good about always asking for consent. They ask for consent in multiple ways before they actually enter my body. So there's really nothing to be afraid of. They have taught me everything I need to know to heal my life and to heal, the trauma and the pain body that exists in me, to start to open myself. Jesus, Kate, one of the words she uses often is she'll take over my entire brain. And the only word I can say is open, open, open. And it's like I'm telling my cellular being, my entire soul, my entire essence, all of the layers of all the different dimensions to me to open to the light. Because it's like, I picture it kind of like a flower opening so that it can receive all of the sunshine. This is what it means to tune into our divine femininity, is to open, to soften, to absorb the light around us, to connect with the light around us. So that is my message for today. I hope that all of us, men and women, can start to tune into our divine feminine. We are all meant to be a beautiful balance of divine feminine and divine masculine. Both energies are so beautiful when we take the toxicity out of them. They are energies that are us, and they are meant to help us be our most powerful selves when we find that balance between masculine and feminine. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. I'm sending you all of my love, all of my blessings, and I hope that you know how absolutely special you are. Every single being in this universe is a multidimensional God being that incarnated onto this crazy earth existence for the purpose of evolution and expansion and growth and learning. That is my true belief. And so I hope that you can find a way to connect to your divine being. One way to do that is simply through connecting to nature, to realize that you are nature. You are made of the stars. You are literally made of the earth. You are food and water and sunshine and minerals and bacteria and all of the things. You are everything, and everything is you. You are so special. You are held. You are loved. You are guided. There are spirits all around us who are aware of us. These higher dimensional beings are watching us. They love us. They want to help us. They want to send us signs of their existence. We just have to do the work to open ourselves and to tune in. So again, I love you. I'm sending you all my Reiki love. I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste.